We're joined now by Ariane Bogain, as she's a senior lecturer in French politics at the University of Northumbria. Good morning. Thank you very much, firstly, for joining us there, Ariane. Now, we've just heard, obviously, from our reporter there in Paris about some of the big challenges. We've got opposition from all angles here, and we're talking about a president-elect with some very ambitious proposals. What do you think are the biggest challenges for Macron as he pushes his program forward, and what do you think he'll prioritise first?
Well, his first big challenge is to get a majority in the June parliamentary election, because if he doesn't have a majority, then he's not going to be able to run the country. So that's the first immediate challenge. Then his biggest challenge has to be to tackle the root of all the anger and frustration in France, which is the high level of unemployment. So his priority has to be the economy. It has to put the economy back on track to give hope for people who for a large number of people who currently can't project themselves into the future. So the economy has to be the priority.
But I guess reforming the French economy in the way that he wants to, it doesn't seem like a very popular one. I mean, 50% of the electorate that are actually rejecting his market economy in a radical way here. So are his ambitions just a pipe dream, do you think? Well,
it is going to be hard. There's no doubt about that. And we know that last year with the labour law, we've had months of demonstration. I think a lot will depend on his majority. If he can have a solid majority, then he should be able to push through his programme, however unpopular it is. If he doesn't have a strong majority, then it's going to be very hard for him. But however he does it, the key issue in France is unemployment. If he doesn't do it, and in 5 years' time, the unemployment rate is still as high as today, then Le Pen will have an even stronger chance of getting in.
Now, what about France's role with the EU? How will this result impact France's position within the EU at the moment?
Well, it's great news for the EU, really, because Macron was the only openly pro-European candidate. We know that he wants to strengthen the EU, he wants to strengthen the Eurozone, and more importantly, he wants to rekindle the Franco-German engine. So it's really good news for France, for the EU, and I would expect France to be at the core of any reform within the EU alongside Germany. It's a much better outcome for the EU than if Le Pen had won, because then the EU would have been plunged into big turmoil.
OK, we'll leave it there for the time being. Really appreciate your time on our program today. Ariane Bogain there.